The Aristocratic Academy has a hidden rule. True aristocrats only eat the crescent-shaped cheek meat when eating fish. Therefore, when someone greedily eats the meat on the back of the fish, they will immediately be recognized as a child from a poor family. This is an aristocratic game designed by the heirs of the four great financial conglomerates. Every year, 50 poor students are chosen to pretend to be wealthy aristocrats for a period of 1 month. After successfully disguising themselves, they will receive a massive cash reward. If unfortunately exposed by others, they will have to work for free for the four great financial conglomerates for 50 years. As for me, I am nothing but an ordinary person at the bottom of society, where even eating well and dressing warmly every day is a problem. Yet by an ironic twist of fate, while delivering food, I was chosen by this aristocratic academy. I bowed my head, looking at the gold-rimmed game participant letter in my hand, thinking of my seriously ill mother bedridden at home. In the end, I nodded, deciding to participate in this bizarre and absurd game. On the opening day, I tried my best to display the cold, noble aura of a top-tier wealthy family, dragging along a suitcase from a little-known luxury brand. Stepping into the school gates, outside the main gates, it was crowded with wealthy young masters and ladies coming to watch the spectacle. Simply because today is the day this aristocratic game officially begins. Everyone's eyes were full of anticipation, fixed tightly on the people who were about to appear. As for those clumsy impersonators, I knew very well in my heart that they just wanted to see the lowly commoners from the slums. When pretending to be aristocrats, they would reveal their nervous and awkward demeanor, turning themselves into a laughingstock. Some people even opened betting pools, guessing how many days those lowly commoners could last this time. Very quickly, when my delicate and ethereal face appeared, it immediately attracted the gazes of all the young masters. And the wealthy young ladies present there, between my brows and eyes, exuded a cold, arrogant aura, making all the young masters and ladies turn their heads to look, lowering their voices to wildly guess my identity. I frowned slightly, looking towards the crowd surrounding the school gates, then looked down at the wet, uneven road surface. I raised my hand to pick my ear impatiently, then pointed at a wealthy male student standing blankly nearby. "You, take off your jacket and lay it on the ground for me to step on. I don't like getting the soles of my shoes wet." As soon as the words left my mouth, the named wealthy male student looked at me with an astonished expression. Damn, this guy is way too arrogant. Could he be the legendary Hidden Heir? The noisy crowd suddenly fell dead silent for a few seconds. But no one dared to speak up an objection, because this year, the four great financial conglomerates had set up a new trick. To increase the game's difficulty, they had the hidden heirs of the top families who were already in hiding all pretend to be newly arrived commoner students, because I only carried a suitcase from an unknown brand. But for a moment, everyone couldn't distinguish whether I was ultimately a fake young master played by a commoner, or a member of a top family playing the pig to eat the tiger. I narrowed my eyes, my expression cold, giving off the feeling as if I completely looked down on everyone. Everywhere my gaze swept past caused the wealthy young masters and ladies to freeze in place. Feeling an oppressive cold aura, the air seemed to freeze tight, and everyone dared not act rashly, afraid of offending that legendary young master of a top family. My God, who exactly is this person? This aura is way too strong. But there were also students who couldn't stand this arrogant appearance of mine. Speaking up in rebuttal, humph, I think he is the lowly commoner chosen this time. It's just that his tricks are slightly more masterful than others. I walked up to that wealthy young miss with a face full of defiance. Under everyone's astonished gazes, I raised my hand and slapped her. "What did you just say?" "Speak louder." I couldn't hear clearly. After speaking, I pulled a handkerchief from my clothes, wiping my hands with a disgusted expression. Everyone didn't expect me to strike without a word, immediately murmuring excitedly, "So scary, that's a person in the top 10 of the global wealth rankings. The daughter of Nguyen Dai Fu, yet he actually dared to hit her. How can a man strike like that?" Hitting a girl like that. Didn't she just say a few words about him? Really having no chivalry at all. The beaten young miss, while clutching her face, revealed a look of utter disbelief. From childhood to adulthood, she had never had to suffer such a grievance. The young miss pointed at my face, trembling all over from anger. You, how dare you hit me? Do you know who my dad is? My dad is Nguyen Dai Fu, top among the richest people in the world. By offending me, you're definitely dead. I completely ignored the young Mrs. threats, lifting my foot, intending to brush past her and leave. Used to being praised by others like a princess, how could she bear being ignored by someone like this? She suddenly reached out, grabbing the hem of the shirt of the boy in front of her. Stop right there for me. Who let you go, huh? Only a clinking sound was heard, as a black card with gold patterns fell to the ground. A sharp-eyed student immediately spotted it. He pointed at the ground in astonishment. Hey, everyone, look over there. What is that? Everyone's eyes all gathered on that gold-patterned black card. This is a black card, the kind where there are only 3 of them in the entire world. Astonishing exclamations echoed all around. The corners of my mouth curled up slightly, thinking to myself that this trick really was effective. It wasn't a waste of effort for me to spend a large amount of money to forge this black card. I raised my head, arrogantly pointing at the male student who had thrown his clothes earlier, then pointed again at the black card on the ground. Hey, this card, you pick it up from now on, it will belong to you. That male student was both happy and scared, his face clearly showing joy like hitting the jackpot. Even though I spoke with the attitude of someone bestowing a favor, that guy didn't feel humiliated at all. On the contrary, he smiled in a highly flattering manner, hastily running over to pick up the black gold card beneath my feet, then respectfully return it to me with both hands. Such a precious card. Even if you gave me 10 guts, I wouldn't dare to use it. It's better if you just put it away. I shot a glance full of disgust, then accepted the dirted black gold card through a layer of handkerchief. I raised my hand and gently tossed it, throwing it accurately into the trash can nearby. This card is already so dirty. How can it be used anymore, since no one needs it? Then just throw it away. The student who had just recognized the black gold card was clutching his chest with an agonized expression. My heart hurts so much. That's a black gold card. There are only 3 of them in the whole world. Yet he casually threw it away just like that. As for the guy who threw his clothes standing in front of me, his eyes darted quickly, certain that I was the top-tier tycoon pretending to be a commoner this time. Hastily raising his head, he carefully asked, Hello, my name is Trin Du. My family runs a hotel business. May I ask who you are? Trin Du asked the question that everyone present here wanted to know. I knew this was my first challenge upon entering this aristocratic school. Succeeding meant getting an entry ticket to this aristocratic game. Failing meant falling into eternal damnation. I took a deep breath, trying to suppress the nervousness in my heart, and spoke calmly. What is my identity? You don't have the qualifications to know yet. At this time, a member of the student council hurriedly ran over. Make way, make way, make way, standing in front of the cold young man who was surrounded by everyone. You are Comac Gon, right? For new student registration, you're the only one left who hasn't registered. Hurry and follow me. As soon as the words were spoken, the surroundings immediately erupted in a commotion. His surname is Ko, could it be? He is the young master of the top wealthy family that has been in hiding for many years. The Ko family? I heard that the young master of the Ko family just returned to the country this year. I didn't expect to be dragged here like this. It seems the school has spent heavily on this game. The kneeling girl who was arrogant and bossy just now immediately hid behind the crowd, probably afraid that I would ruthlessly take revenge on her. Trin Du's attitude became even more fawning, hastily snatching the suitcase from my hand. Let me help you carry your luggage. How can a trivial matter like this be left for you to do yourself? Just leave it to me. Trin Du patted his chest to show his loyalty to me. I pretended to nod indifferently, then looked straight ahead and walked forward, but secretly breathed a sigh of relief when no one was noticing. Inadvertently, my eyes swept across the faces of these aristocratic young masters and ladies. When I discovered that each person revealed eyes of awe, I then knew This identity of the newly returned mysterious young master of the Ko family could be considered firmly established. It didn't waste my effort in carefully selecting it for 3 whole months. Because in this environment, most people are children of wealthy, aristocratic families. Just a slight carelessness and my identity would be exposed. Only by disguising myself as a member of a mysterious family with an unfathomably deep background. Could I suppress these people? The identity of the young master of the Ko family, who just returned to the country, perfectly helped me avoid the weakness of having no friends domestically. After the new student registration ended, I walked with a steady demeanor on the campus. On the way, I didn't even bother to glance at the luxurious architecture of the aristocratic school. My expression was natural, as if I was just strolling in the flower garden behind my own house. This cold and noble exterior of mine made everyone even more convinced of my identity as the young master of the Ko family. Their attitude towards me also became more respectful. Very quickly, I stopped in front of an independently located, magnificently decorated villa. I raised my hand and pointed forward. "HM, this place isn't bad either. I will stay here." A female student couldn't believe it, her mouth dropping open as she exclaimed, "Oh my God, this is the residence of the heirs of the 4 great financial conglomerates. How could you actually dare?" Trindu looked at the cold young man in front of him with an awkward expression. "I know of a place that is absolutely not inferior to this one. How about we change to another place?" I ignored Trindu's dissuasion, walking straight into the villa just like that, pointing at one of the bedrooms. "This bedroom looks decent. You come here, throw all of his belongings outside for me. Then replace everything with new items, clean it up completely." Trindu was so scared he broke out in a cold sweat. This is the room of the person among the 4 great conglomerates. The one with the most hot-tempered personality, Li Qiu. What if we get caught by him coming back? Neither of us will have any peace. I gave a cold glance. What are you afraid of? What the hell is he anyway? Suddenly, a crazy fan of Li Qiu immediately got red-eyed, ready to rush forward to defend him, but was stopped by a calm friend next to her. "Are you crazy? His surname is Ko. Do you not want to live anymore?" That crazy fan immediately calmed down, only able to helplessly watch Li Qiu's belongings being thrown down from upstairs piece by piece. Only a crash was heard as the items fell onto the empty ground downstairs, immediately causing a commotion. Is he crazy? Those are Li Qiu's personal belongings. Just throwing them away like that? Trindu was upstairs, his eyes not showing the slightest hesitation. However, by back all the belongings in young Master Li's room exactly according to the original specifications, they must be even better than the old ones. Hanging up the phone, he didn't forget to poke his head out and look downstairs once, his face clearly showing eager flattery. Very quickly the luggage was cleaned up. After I closed the bedroom door, I could clearly feel the gazes fixed tightly. On my back completely disappeared. The cold, arrogant expression that I tried to maintain for so long immediately vanished. My whole body also relaxed its guard. I turned around and flopped onto the large soft bed in the luxurious villa. I patted my chest, heaving a sigh of relief. That was close. I finally passed the first hurdle for this game of the aristocratic circle. I had prepared extremely thoroughly, not only quitting all my part-time jobs, but also using the 100,000 yuan advance payment from the aristocratic school. Then started hiring a private investigator 3 months ago, investigating the information of all the wealthy aristocratic families. At the same time, taking detailed notes in a notebook during the preparation time regarding everyone in the aristocratic school, from their family background and context to their personalities. I memorized them all by heart, especially the information of the 4 great financial conglomerate families. I grasped it even more firmly in the palm of my hand. I even gritted my teeth and borrowed 1 million yuan on lending platforms. In my heart, I knew very well, once this decision was made, then this game for me was only allowed to succeed, not allowed to fail. Otherwise, I would have to live forever in the haunting fear of being hunted down for debt collection. I sat up, taking out the photo of me and my mother hidden on my body. My eyes became stern. I silently swore in my heart, this time, not only will I receive a massive cash reward after 1 month of successful disguise, but I also have to completely cross class boundaries, becoming a true aristocrat. As long as I have power, the sufferings of the past will not be able to strike me again. I will never be a person at the bottom class of society trampled upon by others anymore. This time, I must stand at the top of the pyramid. The next day on opening day, I walked into this classroom as the bell for class just finished ringing. Dozens of pairs of eyes immediately looked towards me in unison. I put on an attitude of not caring at all, receiving the scrutinizing gazes of everyone. I walked to a corner near the window and sat down, a few classmates who were originally sitting nearby. After seeing me approach, they all left one after another, not daring to mess with me. A person who seemed to be a young master of the Ko family with a wealthy background, even though I didn't do any excessive actions at all. But the scrutinizing gazes of everyone were still fixed tightly on my body. At this moment, Duong Duong, one of the heirs of the 4 great financial conglomerates, unexpectedly sat right next to the cold young man. Everyone's hearts were filled with doubt and astonishment. Some people even secretly guessed Duong Duong's identity is so noble and prominent. How could she proactively approach a young man with such an unclear identity? Could it be she came to expose in front of everyone the true identity that the young man is hiding? I was originally resting my face on the table preparing to sleep, hearing the surrounding discussions. My face suddenly froze. Duong Duong. Among all the heirs of the 4 great financial conglomerates, she is the most innocent and pure one. The corners of my mouth curled up into a smile. It seems Duong Duong is a good opportunity for me to step into the world of the aristocracy. I sat up straight, turning my body to look towards Duong Duong, proactively reaching out my hand to signal. Duong Duong, nice to meet you. As soon as the words ended, the screaming of the whole class rang out endlessly. Holy crap, what's the situation? Is he confessing his love then? Duong Duong also blankly turned her head to look at me. At this moment, the sunlight shone through the window onto my face, causing my already outstanding appearance to be covered with a layer of gentle halo, becoming noble and dazzling. Duong Duong had never met a young man this beautiful. At a glance, she was mesmerized. The initial feeling of being offended immediately disappeared. Instead, she began to have a bit of a young girl's shyness. This picturesque scene was quickly posted online by someone. In the exclusive lounge of the 4 great financial conglomerates, KY Han Chao sat on a custom-made real leather sofa. His brows tightly furrowed, his stern face staring intently at the forum. The stunning photo of me and Duong Duong. KY Han Chao lazily swiped through the comment section below the post, but the movement of his finger stopped at a line. Discussing the young master of the Ko family, KY Han Chao raised an eyebrow. The young master of the Ko family, just starting school and already confessing to a girl, the one most pampered by the Duong family, Duong Duong, he's got quite a lot of nerve. But why haven't I ever met him? The person next to him, wearing gold-rimmed glasses with a bossy older sister aura, Lan Noyet Kien lazily replied, "People have always lived abroad. It's normal that you haven't met him before. What's there to be surprised about?" Lan Noyet Kien raised her eyes, accidentally seeing the cold aura young man on the forum. A flash of surprise crossed the bottom of her eyes. She quietly clenched her fists, but still pretended as if nothing happened. KY Han Chao stared intently at the photo on the phone. It's still very strange, even if it's a top wealthy family that has been in hiding for many years. It's impossible to not have even a bit of news. KY Han Chao revealed a puzzled expression, completely arousing the curiosity of Li Kio, who was originally bored out of his mind next to him. He immediately rushed over and snatched the phone from KY Han Chao's hand. Wanted to see what the person who could make a normally calm and self-controlled KY Han Chao turn into this state looked like. KY Han Chao was momentarily careless. The phone was snatched by Li Kio. Before he could react, Lee Kyo had already jumped to the sofa on the other side and sat down. He opened the phone, zooming in on the photo of the young man with a cold aura. A stunningly beautiful young man sitting by the window, illuminated by the sunlight, appeared before his eyes. Lee Kyo immediately dropped his jaw. An unbelievable expression. Holy crap, this is way too demonically beautiful. A person possessing such looks, how could I only know about him now? KY Han Chao nodded, an expression of full agreement. Admittedly, logically speaking, with his current appearance, it's impossible for him not to have any fame in the circle. Could there be some hidden story in this that cannot be let others know? Lan Noyet Kien pushed up the glasses on the bridge of her nose, speaking in a cold voice. KY Han Chao, you seem to have changed a bit. Before, you would never have even the slightest bit of curiosity about this matter. KY Han Chao froze, then spoke up to deny it. Is that so? I just didn't have anything to do, so I was just guessing blindly. Whatever they were discussing, Lee Kyo no longer heard it. He just kept his eyes fixed tightly on the cold young man in the phone, his fingers slowly swiping across his stunningly beautiful face. The corner of his mouth curled into a cunning smile. Comb Mac gone. Quite interesting. At noon, all the wealthy young masters and ladies went to the school cafeteria to have a meal. I sat in a corner in the cafeteria, looking down at the steamed grouper on my food tray. My face froze, just because this aristocratic school has a hidden rule. True aristocrats, when eating fish, only eat the crescent-shaped cheek meat. So when someone eats the meat on the back of the fish, they will immediately be recognized as a child of a poor family. This is the second test of this aristocratic game. For the role players, countless role players have been exposed in this test, ending up ruined and disgraced. To prepare for this test, I had specially practiced at home half a month in advance. When I expressionlessly reached out my chopsticks, picking up the crescent-shaped cheek meat, I could clearly feel that even the burning gazes around me had softened a bit. Suddenly, Duong carried her food tray and ran over, then sat down opposite me. She looked at the steamed grouper in front of me, then proactively started a conversation. Komak on, you like eating fish too? What a coincidence. I like it too. I didn't raise my head, just nodded slightly, taking it as a reply to Duong's question just now. Although I had already explained that the self-introduction in the classroom earlier was actually just a joke. But Duong unexpectedly clung to me. She kept waving her hands and gesturing in front of me, telling me about the gossip in this aristocratic school. I immersed myself in the comfortable atmosphere that Duong created. Gradually relaxing my guard, the chopsticks I was holding out to pick up the grouper suddenly slipped, almost picking up the fish's back meat. My heart suddenly jumped in terror. Cold sweat instantly broke out on my cheeks, even though I had trained hard for half a month. But after all, before entering the aristocratic school, I had eaten fish back meat for over a dozen years. That was the instinct of the poor. Duong saw my action and immediately stopped me. She thought I just returned to the country, not understanding the rules in this circle. So she kindly reminded me, don't pick up the back meat. You just returned to the country. Maybe you don't know, our school has a hidden rule. When eating fish, only eat the crescent meat on the fish's cheek. Otherwise, you'll be considered a child from a poor family. Luckily, Duong has an innocent personality, completely believing in my identity. Otherwise, the secret would have been leaked out. My face remained unchanged, quickly changing the direction of the chopsticks, accurately picking up a piece of crescent meat, putting it in my mouth to chew. Then I gave a faint smile to Duong. Wasting is shameful. Duong patted her chest, breathing a sigh of relief. I knew it. How could my Komak eat the back meat? So it turns out he was afraid of wasting. Komak is really too gentle. It seems I really like him a little bit now on the second floor at the restaurant reserved exclusively for the 4 great financial conglomerates. The sharp-eyed Lee Kyo saw my action just now. That action of almost picking up the back meat. He smiled with a meaningful expression. He looked at KY Han Chao sitting opposite him. Han Chao, did you see just now that guy Komak actually intended to eat the back meat? KY Han Chow gently swirled the red wine glass in his hand, his eyes scrutinizing the cold young man downstairs. It is indeed a bit suspicious, but lifestyle habits abroad are indeed more liberal. It's not strange for him to have such an action. Li Kyo raised an eyebrow, showing an expression of disagreement. Is that so? Then I am getting more and more interested in this renowned young master of the Ko family now. Saying that, Li Kyo suddenly stood up abruptly, walking straight downstairs. At this time, I was sitting by the dining table, elegantly enjoying the meal. Duong Duong was also telling me about the four great financial conglomerates and their legendary anecdotes at school. Suddenly, a tall black shadow blocked the only light in the cafeteria. Duong Duong and I both raised our heads. Appearing before our eyes was Li Kyo. With that cynical appearance, he looked down on my steamed grouper, which had over half of the cheek part eaten. He smirked with a provocative smile. What's the matter, young Master Ko? Just returned to the country. Don't understand our rules for eating fish. Do you want me to teach you? Everyone noticed the commotion over here. They all immediately put down their chopsticks. Curious gazes from all directions gathered here. After all, this is young Master Lu of a family from the four great financial conglomerates. Picking a fight with the Ko family, which is considered a top-tier wealthy family. A good show like this, who wouldn't want to watch? Li Kyo casually pulled a chair from nearby over, then casually sat down opposite me. In his eyes contained a somewhat unrestrained and unbridled look. He pushed the steamed grouper closer. What? You don't dare? Or is it that you've been abroad for too long? So you're used to it, hearing his words of looking down on others. The hand I was using to hold the chopsticks tightened, trying to suppress the anger in my heart. Provocation. This is a blatant provocation. It seems because of my unintentional action just now. I made the four great financial conglomerates start suspecting me. It seems I have to be more careful from now on. I didn't bother to pay attention to Li Kyo's provocation. Elegantly took out a handkerchief to wipe the corners of my mouth. My cold eyes looked towards Li Kyo, minding other people's business. Could it be you have a secret crush on me? As soon as the words ended, the surroundings immediately erupted in a commotion. Everyone couldn't believe it. I could actually be so bold, daring to humiliate one of the heirs of the four great financial conglomerates like that. Li Kyo's face immediately turned completely red. He was so embarrassed it turned into anger, slamming the table and standing up, strongly denying it. Nonsense. I'm a straight guy. A straight guy. How could I secretly like you? This little brat of unknown origins. Really ridiculous. I acted as if it was nothing, picked up the food tray and stood up, looking at Li Kyo with a disdainful expression. That's right, too. To like me, you're still not worthy. After speaking, I turned around and left. Li Kyo pointed at my back, trembling all over from anger. Duong Duong saw that and hurriedly followed. When she walked quickly past Li Kyo, she even gave a cold humph. Serves you right. Who told you to go pick a fight out of nowhere? KY Han Chow looked down at the commotion coming from downstairs, in his heart feeling a bit surprised. Didn't expect Li Kyo to be taken down so quickly. KY Han Chow gently shook the red wine glass in his hand. The corners of his mouth bloomed into a meaningful smile. Interesting. Things are getting more and more interesting. I returned to the classroom, waiting for class to start. My phone received another puzzling message. Be careful these days. Li Kyo lost face like that. Won't let you off easily. Who sent this message? I'm not clear either, but I guessed. Someone who could directly call out Li Kyo's name in a message. Then it probably could only be the heirs of the other families in the four great financial conglomerates. I furrowed my brows in thought. Couldn't figure out who among them would help me. I thought for a long time, but still had no answer. So I put down the phone, temporarily putting this matter aside. Just because this person, since they could send a message reminding me to be careful of Li Kyo, it proves they temporarily won't pose any danger to me. A few days passed again. Sure enough, as expected, Li Kyo, exactly as the reminder in the message said, constantly appeared in front of me to cause trouble. Although he didn't directly send people to surround and beat me, but his tricks made people even more disgusted. putting a dead mouse in the desk drawer, smearing glue on the chair, or deliberately speaking in front of me. The slang of the aristocratic circle. But these childish tricks not only didn't anger me, but on the contrary, I used those exact same methods to slap back at him. This also led to the fact that during that entire period, no matter what malicious trick it was, I dumped it all on Leet Kyo's head. Finally, Leet Kyo couldn't stand the annoyance, and finally stayed quiet for a few days, no longer coming to cause trouble for me. Soon enough, half a month had passed. The game also entered the climax stage. The massive cash reward was also getting closer to me day by day. During this time, the relationship between Duong and I became increasingly closer. As for me, relying on the identity of the young master of the Ko family, I also had quite a few wealthy and aristocratic families come to fawn over me. My wallet also gradually became fuller. It seemed everything was developing in a good direction. But as time goes on, there will always be a moment when a flaw is exposed. The person who helped me carry my luggage earlier, Trindu, discovered my abnormality, just because he saw that in 1 week, I actually wore the same outfit for 2 days. This situation, for these wealthy young masters and ladies, who have lived in velvet since childhood, is a fatal thing. After a physical education class, I suddenly found my backpack had been rummaged through by someone. Then, I panicked and looked around. My eyes immediately caught Trindu. With his back not yet fully escaping, I immediately became vigilant. Even though I had hidden the investigation documents about the aristocratic circle, but I knew a person like Trindu could be the first to show friendliness to me. Then he could also stab me in the back at any time for benefits. Once discovered by him that I am just a commoner who didn't even have food to eat, with his petty personality, he would definitely frantically take revenge on me. In etiquette class, Trindu deliberately approached me, pointing at the limited edition sneakers that I had worn for 3 days. Then deliberately said loudly, "Young Master Ko, these limited edition sneakers of yours, I see you've worn them for 3 days now. Why haven't you changed into another pair yet? The Ko family is such a big family. Could be you don't even have money to buy a pair of shoes." Everyone's eyes immediately gathered on me. Whispering and murmuring sounds rang out endlessly. That's right, I've also seen this pair of shoes of young Master Ko a few times. Could be he's not some young Master Ko at all, but a filthy, lowly commoner pretending to be rich. Trindu, hearing the voices of doubt constantly ringing out around him, couldn't help but curl up his lips into a smug smile. I took one glance and knew right away he did it on purpose. He's forcing me to reveal a flaw in front of everyone. I didn't care and raised an eyebrow. Right after that, showing a disdainful expression. "You don't even know this. These shoes of mine were made by a famous international designer, deliberately made in a vintage style. Every single pair of shoes needs to be crafted using a special technique. The older it is, the more valuable it is." Trindu looked like he didn't care at all, assuming I was just putting up a front. Hey, don't try to deceive yourself and others here anymore. What kind of making it vintage? How come I've never heard of it? It's probably something you picked up from some sidewalk stall. Then bringing this unbranded item out to deceive people. Quite a few people believed Trindu's words, but there were also students who knew their goods, exclaiming in astonishment. "I know this pair of shoes. I heard it belongs to Grandmaster Kevin, who just returned to the country. It's the final work in his career." There are only 3 pairs in the whole world. Everyone revealed an expression of disbelief. Didn't expect there really is a kind of shoe that's more valuable the older it gets. Trindu took a few steps back in astonishment. How is that possible? I smiled meaningfully. Today's scene is exactly what I desired, since the day I discovered my backpack was touched by Trindu. I had long anticipated there would be this day. For this counterattack, I had specifically hired a private investigator to investigate the whereabouts of Grandmaster Kevin's limited edition sneakers. Unexpectedly discovered, 1 pair was being displayed in a museum. I relied on my reputation in the aristocratic school, the reputation of a top-tier wealthy family that I built, causing the person in charge of the museum to feel fearful and respectful. Finally, using my meager remaining money to rent this pair of shoes from the museum. During these 3 days, I deliberately wore these shoes wandering back and forth in front of Trindu. It was exactly to make Trindu doubt my identity. I even mentally ordered Trindu around, making him unable to keep his calm and choosing to expose me in front of the crowd. As for me, I could take advantage of Trindu's false accusation to firmly consolidate my identity as the young master of the Ko family. From now on, no one will doubt the fact that I wear the same clothes repeatedly. Everyone will only think that this is, again, a custom-made item that they can't afford to buy. This method is truly killing two birds with one stone. I pulled Trindu's arm, forcefully pressing him to the ground, picking up the brick I had prepared in advance, my eyes cold as ice. Which hand did you use to search my bag? Trindu's body immediately went stiff. His face turned pale. He didn't expect that I had already discovered his actions. Trindu also gradually realized he might have offended the legendary top-tier wealthy family. A chill ran from the soles of his feet up, but I didn't care how Trindu's mood was right now. Seeing him not answering, I directly broke his wrist without showing the slightest mercy. Then turned around and left. This matter quickly spread throughout the entire school. In the private lounge, the four great financial conglomerates sat together discussing about the upgrade rules of the aristocratic game, as KY Han Chao lazily spun the fountain pen in his hand. Lan Noyet Kien broke the silence, speaking up first. The role players this time are not simple either. It's been so long, yet there are still people who haven't been exposed, right? It seems we should increase the difficulty a bit. Duong didn't like this so-called aristocratic game at all. Boring to death. You guys just discuss. I still have to go find my Komagon. She impatiently stood up, said that, then turned around and left. Li Kyo, hearing the name Komagon, a cunning gleam flashed at the bottom of his eyes. The corners of his mouth curled into a sinister smile. About the game, I actually have a great idea. Li Kyo leaned close to their ears and whispered. Very quickly, Li Kyo's proposal was approved. Although Lan Noyet Kien outwardly disagreed, she still nodded in agreement. At this time, I was lying on the large, soft bed in the bedroom. I frowned, looking at the meager remaining balance in my phone. Even though I had cleverly resolved the risk of being exposed by Trindu, it also drained my wallet clean. Right now, the most urgent matter for me is to figure out a way to make money. After all, there is still nearly a week left before the game ends. Just as I was racking my brain figuring out a way to make money, the phone rang with a message notification sound. I clicked open the voice message sent in a class group. Next Friday night, the school will hold the annual freshman banquet. At that time, each freshman must bring a token symbolizing their family identity to give a presentation. I immediately jumped up from the bed in astonishment, my eyes glued to the phone screen. Damn it, I'm a poor kid who grew up from the slums. Where would I get a token symbolizing a family identity? Wouldn't this mean I'd be exposed right away? I bowed my head in deep thought. Obviously, this is a deadly trap aimed at role players like us. The aristocratic school never had this kind of rule before. Could it be their patience has run out? Or have they discovered something? But no matter what, the most important thing right now is how to overcome this crisis. Just as I was pacing back and forth, burning with anxiety, the phone number from last time sent a message again. Want to overcome this crisis. 10 p.m., meet on the school rooftop. I stared at this message for a long time. In the end, I still decided to go to the appointment, simply because this was the only life-saving straw for me to continue disguising myself as an aristocrat. The night gradually fell. I went to the school rooftop on time as scheduled, but unexpectedly saw an unexpected silhouette. Lan Noyet Kien turned around and walked towards me, a gentle breeze blowing through her hair. In the quiet dead of night, one could even hear the clacking sound of high heels. Lan Noyet Kien, seeing my astonished expression, chuckled. What? Seeing me, are you very surprised? I put away my astonished expression, removing the disguise of a wealthy aristocrat, showing my true self. After all, since Lan Noyet Kien could send me a message like that, she definitely had already grasped my identity. All disguises became meaningless. I looked at the heart-stirringly beautiful Lan Noyet Kien in front of me, then shook my head, just a bit uncomprehending. Why did you help me? Lan Noyet Kien took out a jade pendant engraved with her family crest, handing it towards me. This is the personal jade pendant of the young master of the Ko family. It's just a fake, but to deceive the simple minds of these aristocratic young masters and ladies, it's more than enough. I froze for a moment, not daring to reach out to take it. Lan Noyet Kien, seeing that, grabbed my hand, then pressed the jade pendant into my hand. Take it, just consider this a small thank you gift because 10 years ago you saved the little girl in the alley from almost losing her life. As the words ended, my train of thought immediately surged. I suddenly remembered the incident 10 years ago, encountering a pitiful little girl surrounded by thugs in an alley. Seeing such a hero-saving beauty situation, I rushed forward without hesitation, but ultimately was still outmatched, though the little girl escaped the clutches of the thugs. I was also beaten until my whole body was covered in injuries. Suddenly, the cold voice of Lan Noyet Kien interrupted my train of memories. Didn't expect to meet you again here. I regained my senses, accepting the jade pendant Lan Noyet Kien handed over. I gave her my most sincere smile. No matter what about this matter, thank you. My smile made Lan Noyet Kien freeze. Her eyes wandered. Finally, pretending not to care, she raised her head. No need to thank me. I also want to see just how far you can go in this aristocratic school. Komak gone. Don't let me down. After speaking, Lan Noyet Kien turned around and left. The sound of high heels also gradually faded, leaving only me standing dumbfounded in the wind. I walked to the edge of the rooftop. Bowing my head, I tightly gripped the jade pendant in my hand, then looked down at the panoramic view of the aristocratic school at night. Silently swearing in my heart, I must definitely carve out a piece of the sky for my own here, making everyone have to look up to me. In a private villa, someone anonymously sent KY Han Chow a package. He was sitting on the sofa in the living room, casually opened it. Inside were all photos of Komak gone braving the rain to deliver food and doing all kinds of part-time jobs. KY Han Chow flipped through the photos, smirking with a meaningful smile. It seems this young master of the Ko family is hiding quite a few secrets, huh? The afternoon of the next day, I knocked on the door and walked into the exclusive lounge of the four great financial conglomerates. In this spacious room, there was only KY Han Chow sitting alone on the sofa. I walked up to him. KY Han Chow tossed out from the side the photos secretly taken of me working part-time. Tell me, what are these? KY Han Chow bringing out these photos. I wasn't surprised at all. I knew very well these experiences are impossible to erase, so I had already prepared an explanation. It's just experiencing life, that's all. Only when you truly know what those poor people really need, then can you completely hold them in the palm of your hand. Isn't that right? KY Han Chow looked at me with a quite surprised expression. In his eyes, it seemed to be the first time acknowledging me. He walked to the back of the bar counter in the lounge and sat down, then pointed at the chair next to it, speaking coldly. Sit down. Don't be nervous. What do you want to drink? KY Han Chow didn't completely believe my explanation. Still constantly probing me, I calmly looked straight at KY Han Chow. No need. I still have class later. You looking for me to come here today couldn't be just for this ridiculous matter, right? If so, I won't entertain it anymore. Saying that, I turned around intending to leave. KY Han Chow spoke up to stop me. Wait, don't be in such a hurry. I stopped my footsteps that were about to leave, secretly happy in my heart, knowing that this hurdle could be considered passed. I hid the smug smile at the corner of my mouth, my expression cold, turning around to look at KY Han Chow sitting at the bar counter. What's the matter? He walked towards me at a pace neither fast nor slow, taking out a no-limit black card and handing it to me. Just now I was impolite. Consider this no-limit black card as my apology. I looked at the black card right in front of my eyes, trying to suppress the temptation of money, pretending to be angry and questioning young Master KY. What is the meaning of this? Our Ko family does not lack this bit of money of yours. He actually laughed out loud twice. Haha. Interesting. You really didn't let me down. He took out an invitation card prepared in advance and handed it to me. Tonight there is a car race. Do you have the guts to join? I expressionlessly accepted the invitation card from KY Han Chao's hand. Actually, my heart was anxious and restless, just because I am a total amateur, even for the driving test. I had to take the test 3 times to pass, but I knew I couldn't refuse. This invitation card is the first entry ticket for me to step into high society. Once refused, all my efforts would be washed down the drain. At 10 p.m., I sat in KY Han Chao's luxury car. Passing through the winding and twisting mountain road, I looked out the window, only seeing that both sides of the road were bottomless cliffs. Just one slight mistake, and it would be a smashed car and broken bodies. Very quickly, the car stopped at the gathering place of car enthusiasts. As soon as KY Han Chao's car appeared, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. Immediately after, everyone discovered the person opening the door and stepping down wasn't KY Han Chao, but an unfamiliar nameless face. Immediately, everyone poured their curious gazes towards me. Who is he? How come he's getting out of young Master Kai's car? Wow, he's so handsome. My drool is running out already. Different from the astonishment of the people around, Li Qiu widened his eyes. Extremely shocked looking at me, he walked up next to KY Han Chao, whispering, "Why are you two arriving together? And you even dare to bring him here?" KY Han Chao acted as if he completely didn't care. He completely didn't see any problem with bringing me into the aristocratic circle. Don't you think this is very interesting? Li Qiu saw me standing alone in the middle, exuding an arrogant and cold aura, seeming out of place amidst this noisy and deafening racing track. Then raised an eyebrow. "You're right, really very interesting." Li Qiu, with his arm around a girl with a hot body, walked up to me. "Young Master Ko, esteemed guest, I heard that you have won countless gold medals abroad. So, want to come over here and play a few rounds?" I stayed silent for a while, knowing clearly that I couldn't escape this hurdle even if I wanted to. I still didn't reply to Li Qiu's invitation. He thought I was silently refusing, then pointed at a car nearby. "Don't have a car? No problem. I'll lend you my spare car. The performance is very good." I followed Li Qiu's pointing finger. A multicolored Bugatti crashed straight into my eyes, looking at the racing car decorated as colorfully as a peacock. The corners of my mouth couldn't help but twitch, no matter how much I don't understand the performance of racing cars. I could still see that this car was not reliable at all. Li Qiu was clearly doing this to make things difficult for me on purpose. He wanted to use this car to prove my identity. Li Qiu pushed away the beauty in his arms, bending down slightly to stare intently at me. "Young Master Ko is so famous recently. Could it be you don't dare?" Li Qiu burst into mocking laughter. The surrounding aristocrats also joined in the loud laughter, just when I was in a dilemma. Having changed into an extremely cool racing suit, Lan Noyet Qian walked out from the lounge. She pushed aside Li Qiu, who was blocking the way, then stood shielding me. "Li Qiu, you have the face to bring out this piece of junk of yours? It's truly an eyesore. This is a matter between me and young Master Ko. Since when is it your turn to butt in?" She completely ignored Li Qiu's yelling, but turned her head to look and smile at me. "I also want to admire young Master Ko's driving skills. How about this? I will be your navigator, okay?" Everyone was stunned. What? My goddess Noyet Qian is actually going to be a navigator for this? Stinky brat, who came out of nowhere. Lan Noyet Qian, what are you joking about? This isn't the playing house game you usually play. Lan Noyet Qian ignored the strange gazes of everyone. Without saying a word, pulled me into the cockpit. After Lan Noyet Qian fastened her seatbelt, I turned my head back, looking at her seriously. "Have you really thought this through? I just got my driver's license not long ago. I can't guarantee your absolute safety. It's fine. I believe in you. I already secretly installed a special device in this car. Besides, don't you still have me, a navigator who is both beautiful and charming, right beside you?" Hearing Lan Noyet Qian's highly narcissistic words, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. The feeling of tension also dissipated immediately. Didn't expect the normally cold-looking Lan Noyet Qian unexpectedly had such a narcissistic side. All preparations were complete. Only hearing a gunshot, countless racing cars shot out like rockets. I also followed closely right after. The car race was progressing extremely thrillingly. At this time, I couldn't help but be thankful for my past experiences. In order to deliver food without being late, I almost carved into my bones the ways to find faster routes, and Lan Noyet Kien was also an excellent navigator, always helping me when taking corners, finding the most accurate entry points under the seamless coordination between me and Lan Noyet Kien. We quickly surpassed the other cars, rising to second place, currently only 100 meters away from the final curve. Deep Chew was still leading by a very long distance. No matter how much I accelerated, I couldn't surpass him. At this time, Lan Noyet Kien's excited voice transmitted over, "Ko Mak Gon, trust me." The excitement couldn't be hidden in Lan Noyet Kien's eyes. In that moment, a nameless fire ignited in my heart. The blood in my body boiled over. I excitedly shouted loudly, "Okay, hold on tight. Charge." I poured all my life's strength into flooring the gas pedal, only hearing the car let out a fierce roar as if wanting to shatter all its components. But I didn't hesitate at all, just charging straight forward like that. When overtaking at the curve, I could clearly feel half the car body hovering in midair. I hurriedly yanked the steering wheel hard, forcefully pulling the car back onto the track. My heart pounded like a drum, as if in the next second I would die from my heart beating too fast. Lan Noyet Kien also screamed, an ear-piercing scream that tore through the sky. The red ribbon at the finish line was snapped. I won first place, faster than Deep Chew by 0.01 seconds. In the blink of an eye, the entire stands erupted with thunderous applause. Everyone didn't expect that I could actually do it, defeating Lee Keo, the heir of the four great financial conglomerates. I sat in the car, taking a deep breath, listening to the buzzing discussions around me. Only then did I feel a bit of fear. Lan Noyet Kien unfastened her seatbelt, then threw her arms around my neck. "You're really amazing. Indeed, I didn't misjudge you." After speaking, Lan Noyet Kien turned to get out of the car. After I calmed down, I also opened the car door and stepped out. Lee Keo approached with an awkward expression. "This time doesn't count. After all, you also used to win gold medals abroad. Next time we'll play another game. I will definitely beat you." Lee Keo was stubborn and still refused to admit defeat, but in his heart, he had officially recognized my identity as the young master of the Ko family. This risky move of mine, I had won the bet. KY Han Chao also walked towards this direction. "Not bad. You have guts. Right now I'm really looking forward to seeing how you'll perform at the freshman banquet." The race ended, the racing track which was noisy and bustling a second ago. In a short while the crowd had dispersed, the vast track was completely empty. That night, my identity didn't just become the young master of the Ko family of a mysterious wealthy family, but also a formidable figure that made others deeply impressed. Since then, quite a few wealthy aristocratic families knew about the incident that happened that night. Their attitude towards me also became increasingly respectful. As for me, I took advantage of the trust of the aristocrats to start my own business. They invested large sums of money one after another in order to curry favor with me. I also earned a fortune, no longer having to worry about disguising as a dirt-poor aristocrat anymore. Time flew by quickly until the freshman banquet, which was also the last day of this aristocratic game. I relied on the money earned these past few days. Custom-ordered an exquisitely tailored suit, holding in my hand the jade pendant engraved with the Ko family crest that Lan Noyet Kien gave me. Smoothly entering the banquet hall, the magnificent attire further highlighted my originally handsome appearance. As soon as I appeared, I immediately attracted the attention of everyone. Duong saw my figure, hurriedly running over. "Brother Ko Mak Gon, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for so long. Let me whisper this to you. Tonight there's a surprise." I showed a puzzled expression, not knowing what surprise she was talking about. The music played. Duong pulled my hand to sit down on one side. The noisy sounds around also gradually disappeared. Suddenly, an MC wearing a magnificent dress stepped up. "Tonight, we will witness the birth of a legend. Some people say he is just a nobody from the slums. Some also say he is the top young master of a hidden family. Now, Let us warmly welcome Ko Mak-gon to the stage to give a speech. The corners of my mouth twitched, turning my head to look at Duong Duong, who was happily smiling alone next to me. What's this situation? Duong Duong completely didn't notice my speechless expression. Oh, this is the surprise I specially arranged for you. How is it? Do you like it? Duong Duong ignored my resistant gaze, hurriedly pushing me onto the stage, facing Duong Duong's expectant eyes. Left with no choice, I had to grit my teeth and walk to the microphone. Just as I was about to open my mouth to speak, in the blink of an eye, the lights overhead went completely dark. On the large screen behind my back appeared photo after photo of me delivering goods. Below the stage immediately erupted into an uproar. Is that Ko Mak-gon? Wasn't he the heir of a hidden family? Why is he delivering goods like this? Is this Ko Mak-gon? Trin-Du, the person who had always harbored dissatisfaction in his heart, jumped out, taking out a stack of photos, waving his hand and tossing them into the air. The photos immediately fluttered down like a fairy scattering flowers. Everyone scrambled to pick up the photos on the ground, carefully looking at each one. Hitting my eyes were all photos of me when I was working part-time. Trin-Du smirked with a triumphant smile at me. It turned out all these things were done by him. Trin-Du, because of a shoe incident last time, always held a grudge in his heart. He secretly had someone investigate my identity. Didn't expect to accidentally discover the photos from when I worked part-time. He was afraid these photos would cause an incident like last time. So he secretly sent the photos anonymously to KY Han Chao, originally thinking that he would soon get to see the scene of Ko Mak-gon being miserably kicked out of the aristocratic school. Who would have thought? Not only was Ko Mak-gon not ruined and disgraced, but on the contrary, he hogged all the spotlight. Right now, Trin-Du was unwilling to accept it, learning that Duong Duong wanted to create a surprise for Ko Mak-gon. So he secretly projected those photos onto the large screen to let everyone know Ko Mak-gon's true identity. Right when Trin-Du thought I was done for, the four great financial conglomerates stepped forward one after another to testify for me. Who knows? Isn't this because you were jealous of Ko Mak-gon, so you forged them beforehand? Who the hell are you to dare speak like that? Daring to cause trouble at the freshman banquet, security, drag him out. The security guards standing nearby dragged Trin-Du, who was constantly struggling, throwing him out of the banquet hall. Everyone saw that the four great financial conglomerates all spoke up to defend. So they all believed this whole matter was nothing but Trin-Du acting out of jealousy. At this moment, I suddenly understood. Even if the glaring evidence was right in front of their eyes, it was still no match for a few words from the powerful rich kids. I walked out of the banquet hall, seeing the four people waiting at the door. KY Han Chao spoke up first. Ko Mak-gon, I officially invite you to join us. Do you agree? The time ticked past 12 a.m. The phone unseasonably rang with a message notification sound. I looked down at my phone. A balance of 100 million had been transferred into the account. The corners of my mouth curled into a satisfied smile. I held my head high and stuck my chest out, walking towards the heirs of the four great financial conglomerates. This moment is not a new beginning, but my rebirth. Disclaimer: all content, characters, settings, and events are products of my imagination and were created for entertainment purposes only.